Keep track of your work hours. Hi, it's Frank the pilot. What amazing revelations what a professional pilot sees, thinks, and feels. I might know something that will help you. Would you be interested in that? I'm offering Gouges, valuable lessons that's helped me and may help you. This info may keep you out of trouble with the feds. Gouge number 19 is in chapter 9 of Frank the Pilot. Recall my first solo flight in chapter 3? I was young, eager, ready to fly that first solo flight. Well, the situation was different, much different now. Some would say the shoe was on the other foot. I had to decide if the student's performance on multiple maneuvers, including takeoffs and landings, traffic patterns, stall entries, recoveries, and emergency procedures were met or exceed the United States Federal Aviation Standards. Two of the most important questions I would ask myself are, is this student safe and competent to fly a plane by him or herself without my help? And is this student competent to handle a flight emergency and survive? The first time a student goes out alone can be nerve-wracking for an instructor. My CFI license that I worked so hard to achieve was on the line. Imagine the effect on a pilot's conscience and career if that student crashes and dies. My first flight job came with a huge responsibility, which affected my ego and also produced some terrifying nightmares. In those days, my nightmares always involved my solo students crashing into the Atlantic Ocean off Daytona Beach. These dreams were triggered by my concern that I'd signed off too early, that the students weren't ready to operate the plane solo. The nightmares produced strong feelings of fear and anxiety. Just as it seemed my respiratory system stopped and I started to panic for air, my eyes started to blink open. Slowly and unbelievably, I started realizing that I was transitioning from a nightmare to the reality of awake life, somewhere, sometime, somehow. This was one of the many stresses that came with the responsibility of teaching college students how to fly planes. With an aircraft that has only one engine, you're always looking for a field to land. Or in my case, in my dreams, my students were looking for a piece of water to land, the Atlantic Ocean. In the 9 months I was employed with ERAU, I instructed and signed off 40 solo students. I loved my job so much that I was instructing 8 flight hours a day and 4 ground school hours a day, 6 days a week, for a total of 72 hours per work week. What a deal! I was a college professor at ERAU teaching college students how to fly planes, as well as earning a paycheck. And I was logging precious pilot and command flight time. What can go wrong? That's in the next chapter. So the Gouge is, instructors, keep track of your work hours, even on a knee pad or on a smartphone, in order to keep legal with the feds. The FAA has a flight instruction limit of 8 hours within the 24-hour period. So that's the most you can instruct in the air. There's also a 12-hour limit. A total of 12 hours you can work, so you can flight instruct 8 hours in the air and 4 hours on the ground for a maximum of 6 days a week, so to say, because within a 7-day period, you have to have at least 24 hours duty-free, time off. So keep track of your work hours to avoid trouble with the feds. Grab a copy of Frank the Pilot and read with me. Follow these stories. Some of these stories, they evoke emotion and they can transport you. My next Gouge is to study, to prepare for possible flight emergencies. I want to thank you for those 4-star ratings and book reviewers and for following me on YouTube and other social media. It makes me feel good that I can share my experience and give back to you. Help you, I will. Enjoy the day, I wish you. If not, enjoy the night.